as well for Anna Lavina. So he's gone big. And Robert Hite, Charles Gaines, Chris Owens, Dee Brown and Britton Johnson. Well, that's not big at all. No Kaya Pekka in the Galatasaray starting five. That's a shock.
Well, you know, the Galatasaray going back with the same five they rolled with the other nights. The way they came out, it was proved successful for them. They're going to bank on their athleticism. But Badalona, you know, they've got strength in depth throughout the team. Barton starting. I was surprised he didn't play more minutes the other night because he's such an efficient player. But this game here, you know, you can almost throw the stats out. There is some impact from how the game went the night before last. This is the semi-final, one game away from being the champion of a European competition, and it's very rare in anyone's career you get the chance to say that.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Kaya Pekka's not on the floor for Galatasaray, but then again, he does get into early foul trouble, and he did in the quarterfinal as well, so perhaps Coach always there, they're just saving his star centre, keeping him free of fouls. It's the semi-final of the ULEB Cup, and both Joventut and Galatasaray know that they're just one game away from the final. Neither club has won this competition before, so both are very anxious to make a new addition to their trophy cabinets. And it's Galatasaray in white with the first possession. Here's Robert Hite, and Britton Johnson inside finds the open man. Chris Owens lays it up the reverse layup, and Galatasaray underway.
Well, Chris Owens, great start. And the other night they came out the blocks. Same thing happened. Badalona went down early, so they won't worry about this. But this explosive start. And Galatasaray, a different team. The biggest observations from the players of Badalona is that this Galatasaray is very deliberate, very quarter-court based. And so if they get a 4-6 point lead, we saw it last night in the Kazan game, because the game will be quite methodical and slow, it'll be very difficult to pull it back on them.
Yeah, a bit of a misidentification from my point of view. My apologies to viewers on Eurosport 2. Kaya Pekka, of course, is a Besiktas man. I was referring to Hussein Basok, who, of course, is still in pain, we understand, from his appendicitis operation, which he had 2 weeks ago.
I'd have been impressed if Pekka was playing for Galatasaray. My whole conspiracy theory would have been out the window there. And funny you see Charles Gaines giving Sonseca the little early doors elbow there to say, you may be bigger than me, big fella, but I'm the beast in the middle of this paint.
Anna Lavina picking up the first foul there, and a terrific start for Galatasaray.
Physical presence, Roy, that's what they're trying to establish. Two quick steals and easy layups. They say, yes, we're undersized, we are smaller, but they're going to be very aggressive, particularly defensively.
Yeah, very unusual for Joventut Badalona to give away easy scores, and that's what they've done so far. Chris Owens on the turnaround.
Owens, if he gets it going, is a tough handful. I mean, his knee blew out a couple of years ago, but before that, he was one of the highest-rated college players at University of Texas in the nation. I mean, he was really had a high projection in the NBA, as did this man, Britton Johnson. And see the fired up, the enthusiasm this Galatasaray team. Passion will carry you a long way in a one-off game like this.
Well, Britton Johnson made the steal, passed the ball up, and then ran the floor and laid it up. 6-0 already to Galatasaray, and I just wonder how long Garcias Renes will wait for a timeout here. And still no score for Badalona, but they do get possession and a new shot clock.
Well, the difference with this Badalona lineup, they're going with Fernandez on the point, having to create his own shot. And as I pointed out to you, we talk about him going to the next level. One of the weaknesses he has is he doesn't dictate the entire team very well. He needs another point guard on the floor. They've gone with an offensive output with Mallet in the backcourt and Lavina. That's not his game. Maybe a little bit of overconfidence at the first couple of minutes by Badalona, although that's Fernandez saying, tell me I can't create my own shot, chump.
Well, Fernandez gets Badalona underway. It was an off-balance shot, but, well, Badalona at the moment need anything that they can wrestle from this game.
And we've been talking about this arena already. It's a huge stadium built for ice sports. There's a lot of space. The crowd's not on top of the action. So Badalona won't be able to bank on any advantage they have in numbers of fans they've got in the stands. They've got to do it out there on the floor.
Oh, Rudy
Just
Fernandez. 5 points to Rudy Fernandez, and he's brought Badalona right back into it. They trail by 1. But the go-to man at the moment for Badalona is the number 5. We highlighted him in the pre-game situation, and well, he's not let us down. And good hands again from Badalona, and Rudy Fernandez gets another offense underway. Came off the backboard, and that is a good hustle, but it's Badalona possession.
And Barton there, that's a shot that's okay for him to take in the transition game, and Charles Gaines surprisingly not clearing up that rebound. Don't forget, he played at Badalona last season, so there's an awful lot of respect from the DKB players for Charlie Gaines. When he goes to the glass, most of them are used to getting out of the way. Sonseca.
Oh, Sonseca dribbling skills, lost it twice, found it again, and then laid the ball up. A 1-point lead now for Badalona.
I tell you, Roy, this has got all the makings of, what's the old cliche, a barnstormer. This game here, very intense at the outset.
Britton Johnson inside, foul by Sonseca.
I tell you, Sonseca, he's one of these guys, you know, we talk about great shot blocker. This is how he plays. He just stands up, and to beat him, that's exactly what you do. Britton Johnson use athletic ability to get away so that Sonseca's body is in motion. When he plays you straight up, he's a tall drink of water to get over the top of.
Sonseca, former Real Madrid player, didn't get much court time with the Spanish champions last year. That's why he came to Joventut Badalona, starting here, and a key player for them.
Don't forget his knee blew out last season, an awful injury he had. But he did get the ULEB Cup Champions medal, so he'll be the first player in the history of the ULEB Cup to repeat as champion if Badalona maintain their status as favourites until they give out the medals. Oh wow, back to the head pass.
7 plays 7. D. Brown inside, back out to Johnson. Well, no way through there, and here you go, Badalona on the break, 2-on-1, and that should be a score. Damon Mallet misses. Well, that's a poor fast break, poorly executed there from Badalona. Oh my word, what a pass from D. Brown. Is that Robert Hyde or Charles Gaines inside? 9-7.
There's no question of who gets that. You throw the ball to the rim and then just turn your back, there's only one man coming to get it, and everybody gets out the way. The alley-oop will be a strong play for Galatasaray tonight, again, because the Badalona team know that Charles Gaines jumps higher than a cricket.
Well, an early example of possible all 5 moves tonight. We highlight the best 5 moves of the day on the Late Show, and that's a backcourt violation by D. Brown.
Great defense by Fernandez, right up in his grill, and it's one of those things you see players don't use very often. That half-court line is an extra defender, and if you time to perfection when you place the pressure on the ball handler, you can sometimes force that turnover. Outstanding play by Fernandez.
For you young players watching, remember, do not stand astride the halfway line. It's a trap. Rudy Fernandez fouled unceremoniously, and the foul against Chris Owens, his first.
A lot of people will be wondering why Ricky Rubio's not starting the game when Badalona rely on their defense so much. I think Coach Aito, he's going for offensive presence. That's why he's got Mallet out there. He wants to get the scoreboard ticking over. This game for Badalona, if he gets into the 70s and the 80s, is very much in their favor.
Rudy. Second 3-pointer for Rudy Fernandez gives Badalona a 4-point lead. You know, Mickey, I think Coach Aito Garcias was having us on a little bit. I don't think he thinks Galatasaray have that longer bench. That's why he's keeping Ricky Rubio in reserve. Joventut, to me, have a much stronger bench than Galatasaray, and that's, I think, you know, he's just waiting. He's playing a canny game there.
Well, Rubio, the strongest asset he will bring is if he needs him to guard either Robert Hyde or D. Brown. If one of those gets hot, and you know, I subscribe to the theory that Hyde had his big game in the quarterfinals. If you want to get Rubio guarding the wrong player at the start of the game.
How many times have I said or mentioned about Charles Gaines' foul shot? That's dreadful. It's so flat. Come on, Charles, give it some air. Give the ball a chance of going in. Still flat, and that's why it missed.
It's very mechanical. It's you know, straighten legs, bend back, bend arms, follow through. So he might feel like he's good, but he needs some time with the shot doctor. In the zone.
Charles Gaines had 2 foul shots early on in the quarterfinal, and he gave them some air, but on that particular occasion, well, Damon Mallet, if he gets hot as well as Rudy Fernandez, then Galatasaray have real problems. It's Joventut by 7 already. And remember, they trailed by 6.
And that's why Mallet starts the game tonight, Roy. They want to get him going offensively and see if they can negate the backcourt of Galatasaray, which is their strength. You know, we talk about Charlie Gaines and the great work he does, and Chris Owens and his great bloodstock, if nothing else. But D. Brown, Robert Hyde, and of course that young man Erdan's going to come in at some point in time. They've got to shut them down, and Badalona know they'll win.
Badalona have done a great job in recovering from that bad start they made. They were 6-0 down. They've regained their poise, and Johnson and Chris Owens there just having a little bit of a contretemps.
Well, it's the same start, almost a bit more offensively minded, but the same start of the game that Badalona had in their quarter-final game. And there, Britton Johnson just got the hands all over Sonseca, and if you do it under the referee's nose, you're challenging him to make a call.
Big rebound from Chris Owens. And D. Brown calls the play.
Brown, you know, there's a name there. That guy there, when he came out of Illinois University, he was projected as one of the best point guards in the nation, and maybe a star for the future.
That's terrific defense there from Ferran Lavina. Johnson no way through. Fernandez again shoots the air ball, but there was a rebound. If you can rebound an air ball, that is.
That's Barton. And that counts as an assist anyways. You know, and Rudy, the other night, I was commenting to Daniel how he wasn't playing as aggressive as I expected him to. And there's Charles Gaines just showing what he's about.
Yeah, Charles Gaines has a special reason to want to win this game against his old club. Causing them a few headaches inside at the moment.
Just effort, hustle, and Jerome Moiso had it all his own way the other night. It was an easy game for him. He just stood up in the middle and was just blocking shots just for fun. But today, different kettle of fish here. Charles Gaines, very active, and yes, he may be smaller, but he's a much more aggressive player. But he's not the best free throw shooter, Roy.
That's the problem, Martin. Juventus can afford to foul Charles Gaines, because it's getting worse, his foul shot. That was flatter than even before.
Yeah, but he's a 50-odd% free throw shooter. If he misses first three, he may make his next three. At the end of the game, if he shot 10 free throws, he would have made 5. You know, that's not as good as you want, but at least you're not. The first quarter, you don't worry about it.
Well, Rudy Fernandez has alerted Galatasaray to the fact that he can shoot threes, so they put a man on him now, much closer, and Robert Hyde goes inside and throws it down. It's only 5 points now, the deficit that Galatasaray face.
Robert Hyde announcing his presence in the game and says, don't forget, I'm here too, guys. I had 20 plus in the quarter-final. I'm ready to play.
Damon Mallet rebounds his own shot, and his second shot misses, but Jerome Moiso is there to pick up the rubbish. It's a 5-point lead now for Joventut Badalona. Make that 7 points. Johnson inside.
That could be a tough night at the office for Galatasaray if they can't keep those big monsters, Moiso, off the boards, and Hernandez Sonseca, 2 virtual 7-footers who play strictly over the rim. You've got to get bodies on them and push them out the paint.
Good boxing out there from Moiso, and that's why Badalona have a good offense here. A foul called, and that's Charles Gaines.
And late in his defensive assignment. The difficulty that I see for Galatasaray tonight is if they try to go with the 6 or 7 players they went with in the quarterfinals against Besiktas, they've got to get some extra minutes out of some players that you wouldn't expect to. So look to Fatih Solak, the 7-foot Turkish centre, try and play against Sonseca a little bit. They've got to get some extra minutes because the legs just won't be fresh enough otherwise. And you saw in what players always do in a situation like this is they get in a hotel and they play hotel basketball. You know, they go from their bed to the gym to the hotel.
Martin, the coach of Badalona has just recognized the fact that Bashok is on court, can't move, and so they've isolated him. That's the number 12 for Galatasaray. He's so slow because of that appendix situation he's got. He's in pain, the poor guy, the number 12 in the paint at the moment, and he cannot move his feet. And Badalona have identified that fact, and they're going at him.
So
there he is again.
They're counteracting by going to a zone, but zone doesn't mean anything if you know, that Paul Ribas, instead of shooting from half court, that time he shoots a normal 3-point shot.
10 points the lead now for Badalona. Things looking ominous for Galatasaray. 1.5 minutes to go in the first period, and they really do need a score here.
Great defense there, Yangler. He's a 2 meters 10 plus player, and it's not as easy for Robbie Hyde to shoot over him. Hyde's got to get going. He's got to make his early shots, and he's only taken 2 so far, which is he's got to get more quick releases. He's got to get some jumpers going.
Ricky Rubio finds Moiso, who nails the left-handed shot. It's a 12-point lead. I just wonder how long Coach Murat Oyzer can wait before he calls timeout. He needs something to start happening for Galatasaray, and D. Brown resets the offense. Well, is that Ricky Rubio hurt? I think it is, yeah.
So the referee stopped it just in case he might have broken a nail. Looks like he's taking a bit of a hit there. Look, maybe a hit pointer or something like that. But 17 years old, you can call me what you want, but they bounce back very quickly at that age.
I think it's an abdominal injury.
So he got winded or a nice quick.
That was Moiso. No, it wasn't. It was D. Brown. Yeah. Oh, that hurt. Yeah, in the abdominals. So Damon Malik back in for Badalona.
Sock doesn't. He just doesn't look like his normal presence. I was hoping to get some out of this guy tonight, Hank Akyol.
Good hustle from Chris Owens, but gives the ball away. Oh, great dribbling skills. That's Ferran Lavina. And Mallet with an awful lot of time. No pressure on him at the point.
Great performance, great first quarter by Damon Mallet. You know, he's more of a scorer than anything else, but he's really run the show well for this team.
Yakler in the corner misses, and rebound grabbed.
You know, talk about Yangler as a big man who can shoot, but I wish he'd shoot less. You know, he's 0 for so far in the competition.
Well, lazy foul there from Ferran Lavina. Got there too late. And actually a well-drawn foul, let's say.
Yeah, Akyol is a smart player. The thing I like about Galatasaray is it's their Turkish players, they're domestic, homegrown players, and therefore normally the most passionate players that will come through in the clutch for them. And you know, and if you've got Charles Gaines on your team and you're saying, yeah, I know he's passionate, but I've got more passionate in my domestic players, that's a great asset to have. These guys will play with you, cut their heart out, and they'll still keep playing for you.
Yeah, basketball is very much in Turkey, very much like it is in Greece. A lot of kids playing in playgrounds now, and well, it's got a great future in the Mediterranean country, Eastern Mediterranean, and the long pass down the floor is almost given away. That's the end of the first period, and it's a 10-point lead for Badalona after trailing 6-0, and Badalona have really put their stamp of authority on this game. Ricky Rubio, he just went off with a slight abdominal injury, but looks to have recovered. And at the break between the first and second periods, we'll take a short break for this commercial, but don't forget to stay with us here on Eurosport 2 for the second period in this semi-final. The Palavela in Turin is the scene of the ULEB Cup last 8, and we're down to the 2 semi-finals, the first of which is being led at the moment by DKV Joventut Badalona against Galatasaray. It's the Spaniards ahead by 10. There are the stats, and the 3-point stats of Joventut. Basically, that's the difference. They've hit 15 points from outside the arc. Galatasaray have yet to register a score from that 6.25 meter line. It's Badalona in green.
And Roy, you look at that first quarter, the first 2 minutes, Galatasaray 6-0 run, take that out, it's a 27-11. It's almost a blowout in the first 10 minutes, and the jumpers keep on raining, and Yangler keeps, he finally makes a jump shot, and if he starts hitting, it could be an exceptionally long night for Galatasaray.
The problem for Galatasaray is that they are a little bit desperate. They've gone inside, they've actually put Basok in, the big number 12, and he's carrying a definite injury, and he made a nice pass there. Yagler fouled a man on the line, put him on the line.
And Basok, I know he's hurt, you know, he's so important to this team, and he operates outstandingly around the high post, so they can use him as a passer as long as the other players cut. At that time, Robert Height got open. But, you know, Fatih Solak, I'm surprised he doesn't play more. You know, last season, he was the big man who did damage for this team, that helped them get to the ULEB Cup qualification. But he doesn't get hardly any playing time. He's another big body. Well, I mean, we'll just see. I mean, Britton Johnson, you know, I admire his game, but he's, you know, relative newcomer to this team, and he's not a big scorer. I'd like to see him try to counteract the big bodies. Moiso, he's a handful at 6'10", 6'11", left-handed.
Oh, what a pass from Ricky Rubio. What a pass. Jagler had the easy thing to do, just laid up, but the bullet-like bounce pass through the key, well, it left Galatasaray gasping.
Well, that zone defense is way too wide. The hands not active enough. And Rubio, well, that's, for him, that's bread and butter. That's easy to make that pass, as beautiful as it was. Although we would never coach anybody to make one-handed pass off the dribble, would.
Well, we highlighted him in the pre-game warm-up, and said he got great vision, and they're a classic example of it.
No, you can't quantify what he's got. It's impossible to explain it, because it's basketball knowledge. It's sort of knowledge that guys get when they're 34, 35. Ariel McDonald's got it at 36. You know, to have it at 17 is terrifying, because physically he'll get better. Skills-wise, he will get better. But to actually have that's the one gift you would never expect to get at that age.
And there he is, being fouled. And foul against Yunus Erden, the hero of the quarterfinal for Galatasaray.
Yeah, what a story he was in that quarterfinal.
Out of bounds by Badalona.
Missed his first 7 shots, made his 8th, and that's what booked him an appointment for tonight's game.
Timeout being called by Murat Oyzer of Badalona. They've made a bad start to this second period. Direct contrast to the start they made to the first. And they find themselves looking at a big deficit. Well, no problems. Coach Aito Garcia Reneses of Joventut Badalona. The problems are all encountered by Murat Oyzer of Galatasaray.
Well, if you're Galatasaray, the biggest fear you've got is that this game, they're down by 12. You could almost live with that, but to get back, that means they're going to have to open the game up. Transition basketball, which is exactly the way Badalona and most Spanish teams play. So they're going to have to play into the hands of the favoured team. So they've got what they're looking to do is shut down defensively and try to chip away at this lead. But the zone defense isn't working for them at the moment.
Well, we heard the Polish coach, Filipowski, in his quarter-final against Dynamo Moscow, saying that he wanted to restrict Dynamo's three-point threat. And that's exactly the problem faced by Murat Oyzer, coach of Galatasaray at the moment. How do you stop Juventus threes? There's Rudy Fernandez, who's hit 2 of those threes so far.
Yeah, he just came out fired up. He had pretty quiet game in the quarter-final. This was the worrying thing for in their quarterfinal matchup. They were up by 10 and he hadn't scored. This time today he's 8 points leading scorer in the game. You know, so he is definitely back where he's accustomed to being. So he's ready to explode for a 25-point night. I'd be scared if I was a Turkish bookie right now.
Basok takes his first shot of the game, which is unsuccessful. The one chink of light on the horizon, I suppose, for Galatasaray is that Rudy Fernandez actually hit his first 3 shots, 2 of which were from outside the arc, and he's not scored since then. So at least they've kept him quiet since that opening burst. But the problem is that other Badalona players have come to the party. One of those is Ricky Rubio, who almost steals on the baseline. And
you're not going to get open against Rubio one-on-one unless you run him off a screen. His arms are so long. You know, height needs to set screens, work together, or the alternative is make height get the ball and bring it up.
You know, Joventut Badalona lost 1 game in their regular season. That was to a Turkish team, Telekom, and they lost by 2. They were without Rudy Fernandez, and in that game, Ricky Rubio made 29 points and stole the ball 10 times, a double-double, including 10 steals. That's amazing for a 17-year-old, and there's another 3 points for Badalona, and the game is slipping away from Galatasaray as Pau Ribas buries yet another 3. That's the 6th 3-pointer for Badalona.
And one of the worrying things about Turkish teams traditionally, when they get beat, when they're down, they get down bad. But if they lay down and die here, this game could get very ugly very quickly.
Well, Basok, a very welcome rebound there for Galatasaray. His feet didn't leave the floor, but he was strong enough, big enough just to lay the ball off the glass. 34 plays 21. 7.5 to go in the first half. Rudy Fernandez looking inside for Moiso. No alley-oop success there. And here goes Galatasaray on the break. That's got to go in. And it does. A welcome 3. That's how to play a fast break. And nearly a steal as well.
Hank Akyol, as I was talking about earlier on, saying it's the passion. It'll be the Turkish players that will bring them back. Robert Hyde, D. Brown, Charles Gaines, they'll do what they do. They'll get their 10, 12 points. It's going to have to be the Turks that come back.
A little bit of a contretemps there between the 2 number 5s. Robert Hyde nearly stole the ball from Rudy Fernandez, but was adjudged to have fouled. We get a replay of that. Wow. It was close.
Yeah, and the worst thing about it was the referee behind the play, the one who couldn't see Robert Hyde, that called the foul.
Robert Hyde, a study of concentration. Does he want this or what? Problem is, he's got a very, very good team up against him. Joventut Badalona. Ribas goes inside. Good passing, back to Rubio. Still a long time on the shot clock. Rubio's double-teamed. And Galatasaray make the steal. 2-on-1, and that's got to be a score. And it is indeed. Good offense there from Galatasaray. They're back to within single figures now.
And this is what they say, we said, Roy, is the defense is getting them in this. Forget that they're converting in transition, great, but what they're really doing is they're stopping Badalona from scoring. And that it sounds like it's obvious, but by shutting the gate down on defensive end, you can run all you want, but they want to run one way. So they're running offense and making Badalona walk it up on defense.
No way for Cenk Akyol to fight his way through that screen. And screen, a very big one set by Jerome Moiso. That's why he was called the foul. And here he is on defense again. That's a good offense from Joventut with Jagler hitting from just beyond the high post.
Now, we know Jagler is a good shooter of the basketball, 2 meters 11 or whatever he is. Wow.
I'll tell you what, that's a lovely, well, mid-post move there from Hussein. He faked to hand it off and just laid the ball up with his back to the hoop.
And that's where he's effective, Roy. He's not a great low post player, but high post, mid post, where he passes the ball exceptionally well. He said, yeah, he's recognized, yeah, I've had appendicitis. I've got an excuse if I don't play well, but he's given it his all. That big dunk there on Jagler, who's just celebrating making a jump shot. He has another foul there. But if Basok can start operating for them, well, watch out. This game is, don't go home, folks. Don't try and make your tea early. This game here is not going to be done just yet.
Basok's had a long time out of the game, well, a long time, 10 days or so, so he's going to be pretty tired. And so he may need a quick break. Fernandez into the corner, Rubio with a miss, and the rebound by Sonseca.
And the referee knows he missed one there. Basok got a nudge in the back by Sonseca.
No three off the glass, and here go Galatasaray again on the break. That's a lovely pass. No foul, no dunk, no score. That's a poor offense there from Robert Height. A layup would have done instead of the dunk.
I'm not saying don't dunk it, but make sure of the 2 points. That's all. I don't care if you dunk it. I don't care if you throw it in with your feet. It's got to get in the bucket.
Foot on the line, Robert Height.
And Height's one of these guys that he's got the talent. He had a great career at University of Miami and played New Jersey Nets for a year, but just didn't quite have that regular, consistent scoring approach that was necessary to maintain in the NBA. Now in Europe, he needs to up his game. His reputation is not going to carry him any further now. So he's expecting to dunk that ball, and Jagler said, "Height, let me move out the way." But Jagler was trying to take his head off.
Well, evidence of the poor condition that Hussein Basok is in. He was gasping then, pleading for a substitution. Poor guy's probably been in bed for the last 10 days. And he's been taken off, and not a like-for-like substitution. D. Brown back on, much smaller than Basok, so Galatasaray have gone small and quick.
Well, they've got Charles Gaines came back in the game as well, and for Akyol, Gaines has got to be careful. He's got 2 fouls, so he's got to play a little bit within himself. And the defensive intensity of Galatasaray just raise the tempo, and Charlie Gaines sticking those hands in. He's got to be careful, but that time Rudy Fernandez turns the ball over.
Rudy Fernandez pleading for a foul to be called there, but he did actually walk. So good double team there from Galatasaray. They are still within single figures.
Mon Mallet back in the game. Rubio sitting back down. Wow.
Offensive foul against D. Brown.
Big, strong D. Brown knocking down the 6'8", 100-kilo Nubo Spartan.
Who, me, ref?
Yeah, well, D's saying, come on, ref, what are you talking about? It's rare, and this may be a big man nagging. It's so rare to see a point guard get caught for an illegal screen. And so,
well, especially, as you say, Martin, when the big guy gets knocked down the floor by 10 feet or so.
Refs just don't call that foul, so I always question why you're calling that one.
Well, that looked to me as though it was going to be a definite air ball, and Chris Owens recognised that as well and dragged the rebound down. Now, Galatasaray, we do like close games here on Eurosport 2. Oh, what a poor pass, though. What a waste of a golden opportunity to make the margin only 5 or 6. Poor pass there from Erden.
I'm picking on Robert Height a little bit. You know, he's got 10 points already, so it's not like he's playing poorly today, but that's not his game. He's a scorer. If he's going to try and penetrate and then kick like that and, you know, throw the ball over the head of Erden, that's not his game. What he's got to do is get the ball in the hands of Erden or D. Brown and go spot up, get to positions where he can take 1-2 dribble and score, because that's what we need him to do if we're a Galatasaray fan.
Britton Johnson back in for Galatasaray, big number 35. Well, there's a foul on a three-point shooter. And Galatasaray have said to themselves, we're going to put an awful lot of pressure on the Badalona guards now. They're double-teaming the guards. And the problem is they picked up 3 fouls doing that now. Just watch this, see if the shooter is actually fouled. Wow.
Right, he swung his hand and he followed through. His forward momentum took body on body, and, you know, you've got to challenge the shot, but Chris Owens needs to recognise that, which is something that comes with experience, that, you know, in that case, in that time, Lavina was too set in his feet. You're not going to block the shot, just raise a hand and stand up straight, be as big as you can. But the moment he left the feet, you knew Lavina was going to go down.
So the numbers 8 and 9 for Galatasaray. Charles Gaines and Chris Owens on 2 fouls each. And that will take, if they get a third, either of them get a third, that'll take an awful lot of prowess away from their boards. Charles Gaines and Chris Owens need not to foul now between now and half-time. Here's D. Brown being double-teamed. Surprise pressure from... Wow. Oh, no. Wow. Referee, sir, that's awful. That's awful. He put the ball on the floor before the pivot foot moved.
No, Roy, you know, you were saying earlier on how the referees have had a great final 8 so far. That's a couple of questionable calls there. Watch the physical defense. Hand on his chest.
That's not a foul.
That's not a travel.
No.
You know, the starstruck referees, and if that's true, I would be very disappointed. I want to, you know, Badalona don't need the help of the officials.
Well, if Badalona score here, then that will definitely be an injustice. And that's exactly what they do. It's Sonseca going inside. And, well, that's a 4-point play that was created by the referee there, I'm afraid.
They get it wrong. So, you know, sometimes the referees just need to put the whistle away and just let the players sort the game out.
Yeah, as long as they get it wrong for both sides, then you can't complain. But I haven't seen a bad call go against Badalona yet. And Britton Johnson from the corner.
Great play. That's the way Britton's good. He's a great transition slashing player. But if he can run, get to his corners and spot up, he's a good 3-point shooter.
3 minutes to go in the first half. And Galatasaray just about hanging on here. And the Turkish fans in the crowd wanted a foul call there. And here go Galatasaray again on the break. They've got to keep it. And the layup is good. And we may see a timeout from coach Ito Garcia-Reneses. Possibly here because his team lead but only by 7. Good phase of play from Galatasaray. 2.5 to go in the first half. And again, it's good defense from Galatasaray. And the rebound.
And Roy, I tell you, a team making a lot of threes like Badalona have so far in this game, you can get as cold as quickly as you got hot. They're going to keep shooting those threes, but they've got to get back to what they did to get them in the lead. Yes, they made a bunch of jump shots, but they got layups, offensive rebounds. And Galatasaray is not going to get back in the game with Charlie Gaines shooting jumpers either.
Not flat jumpers like that. I really did cringe when he took that shot then.
Well, and the thing is, nobody else on the team knew he was going to shoot it. That's what hurt them.
Chris Owens the rebound. Good defense from Rudy Fernandez. Now that should... No! Referee, have done it again! That's not an offensive foul. Look where it occurred. It occurred in the backcourt.
He's got to have the right to catch the ball and put his feet back on the floor.
And I'll tell you what, it's the same official. He really is doing D. Brown a disservice here. And D. Brown knows it.
Referees know it too. You know, Roy, me and my conspiracy theories, but that, you know, for a team who's down by 12, doing their best to play as hard as they can, and then for the referees to do what I call home cooking calls. It's almost like we're playing in Badalona.
Badalona lead by 7. Coach Murat Oyzer of Galatasaray is doing a good job in here in telling the players not to worry about the officials, and to concentrate on the game.
They make pressure over there, okay?
Listen to what he says.
Don't run away. After we get the ball, stop. Even not.
Coach to Badalona, Aitor Garcia Rene says. Not sure what message Murat Oyzer sent to his players there, Martin. Did you hear any tactical changes?
Well, he wasn't making changes. He's talking about some of the one-on-one matchups. He's saying that when he catches the ball, you've got to be right upon him. Don't give him a chance to do things. And he was pointing at D. Brown, so I'd imagine it's something to do with either Rudy Fernandez or Damon Mallet. I missed the beginning of that point. The way Galatasaray are playing, and forget the referees, that was just my 30-second moan. They're going to be quite happy. Yeah, they were down by 12. Now they're down by 7. They've got the control in the tempo of this game because Badalona aren't getting fast break opportunities, and their defense has been very successful. Yeah, fouls is the thing that I would be worried about.
Galatasaray have said to themselves, if we're going to win this, it's on defense. Concentrating really hard and getting a couple of double teams going at the point now. Now that surely was a travel, but perhaps not. But, well, it's 2 points to Badalona in the form of Lubis Barton.
No, that's what hurts you don't have a big presence, because a big 7-footer, Basak doesn't jump. He just stands up and plays big, and Barton doesn't get that shot off. But with Chris Owens, Charles Gaines, they're going to sooner or later they will take the pump fake.
Well, D. Brown has been blown for a travel and an offensive foul, and on both occasions Badalona have scored. So 4 points
Two
there.
offensive fouls, because he had another back screen called. Remember the illegal screen they called on him earlier on that you never see in a normal game of basketball.
So what D. Brown's got to do here is just smile at the referees and trying to take a bit of heat out of the situation.
I'll just forget it and say they're going to screw me anyway, so...
Great change of direction from Charles Gaines, deemed to have travelled. Probably did, actually. It was a lovely change of direction with the dribble, but, well, just shuffled his feet inside. Good defence from Sunseeker. Let's have a look. Here we go. One jump stop and just shuffled his feet.
And, you can't see his feet, so I won't pass comment on it. I thought he travelled when he put the dribble down to begin with. I'm not sure if he travelled after the pump fake.
Another double team from Badalona. And good hands from Chris Owens. It's 1-on-4 at the moment, though, Chris. Pull up and score. Good job, he scored.
I was about to say that's not his game. He's a finisher at the rim, but he shows a soft shooting touch that had him as one of the highest-ranked power forwards in college basketball 3 years ago.
45 seconds to go in the first half, and it's only a 7-point game. Here's Sunseeker inside, defended by Chris Owens. Chris Owens doing a good job. Sunseeker so big and so strong.
Yeah, and that's Britton Johnson put those little fake double teams. He just swung a hand at him like he's trying to swat away a fly. Get in there, get dirty, big fella.
Timeout called by coach Murat Oyzer of Galatasaray. His team trailed by 9 in the dying seconds of the first half. Robert Height had a quiet first half, unlike the quarterfinals when he really shone for Galatasaray against Besiktas.
He's the leading scorer, though. He's got 10 points, but it's been a quiet 10 points. He hasn't made a 3-point shot yet, and he's struggling to find his rhythm. He's got to keep the scoreboard ticking over. That's his job. Keep us scoring, and then we'll see what the bonus comes out of our defense.
36 seconds remaining in the first half. It's a 9-point lead for Badalona of Spain, in the city of Barcelona, against Galatasaray of Turkey from the city of Istanbul. Very calm, very meaningful, and very focused. Coach Murat Oyzer of Galatasaray knows that his team are still well and truly in this game. They haven't played well, but they only trail by 9. And I have to be honest, I thought that Badalona were going to overwhelm Galatasaray. I've been proven wrong so far, and let's hope it stays that way. We don't take any favourites, any sides here on Eurosport 2, but we do love close games of basketball, and that's what we've got here. Out of bounds now, Galatasaray. After that Sunseeker score, Ricky Rubio back in for Badalona. Almost steals the ball from Robert Height.
And Height needs to get the ball out of his hands. They're pressuring, you got Rubio on you. You're liable to have a turnover as much as anything else. Get the ball in D. Brown's hands like it is now. Let him call the shots.
Hussein back in. Oh, that's a poor pass. Poor pass, and, well, it came off the hands of Rudy Fernandez there. Bit of a hope pass there from Basak, but well, 7 seconds left on the shot clock.
That was a drawn-up backdoor play there. Basak flash high, and the idea, he got caught between either trying to make a lob pass for Britton Johnson to dunk it, and just trying to lead him, get the ball in bounds to him.
Bisok goes inside and lays the ball up. Good move there. Another lovely fake. 13 seconds remaining in the first half, and it's only a 7-point lead now for Badalona. They will have the last shot of the first half. Who's going to take it? Rudy Fernandez with the ball in his hands. It's a three from Rudy Fernandez, and it's a successful three. Rudy Fernandez hits his third three-pointer of the first half, and Badalona lead by 10.
What a dagger. That's the way to end the half. Rudy Fernandez says, Britton Johnson, don't care who you are, take that.
Well, what a move there. Lovely move at one end from Bisok, but Rudy Fernandez had the answer, and Juventud enjoy a double-digit lead at half-time in the first semi-final of the ULEB Cup here at the Palavela in Turin.
Well, Roy, that ends up being a lot of hard work for no reward, because Galatasaray played out of their skins for that 10-minute period, and they've come out exactly where they started, down by 10.
Well, let's see what Robert Height thought of that first half. Here he is talking to Karina.
Impressive start. What happened afterwards when you lost all your advantage?
We gotta get some stops on defense and quit turning the ball over. We got too many turnovers right now, and they're making shots. Offensively, we're not putting any pressure on the ball. We're not getting up into them, making them feel it. So we just got to come out in the second half and be more aggressive defensively.
Do you think that defense is going to be the only thing that you have to change to stay in contention?
We just got to get more. We got to get sharp on offense as well, and make some shots this half and get to the free throw line a little more. Just be more aggressive throughout the whole game and finish out this game. We got 20 minutes left, trying to get to the championship. It's all about heart now.
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck.
Good observations there from Robert Height. But I would disagree with him to say that they haven't played tough defense. They have. On too many occasions, Badalona have been able to elude them.
And I'll disagree with something else, Roy. It's not all about heart. It's about smarts. Play with your brain now. Improve these numbers. Look at that. 2 for 5 in the three-point line. They're going to have to make some threes. And they've got to improve their defense they had. 7 for 19. They've got to keep Badalona's three-point shooting on the slide. And rebounding, they're doing a great job. Don't forget they're undersized. He's right about the turnovers, which is pretty evenly balanced, as with the assists. The free throws, 4 points they've thrown away at the foul line. That's the problems that they've got. So use your brain. Correct the first half. They'd have been down 7, but now it's down by 10. And as Coach Ujier just said, wow, we may get to 80 points, which will be a first in this competition, in this quarter-final 8. We may get to 80 points, but to win, we're going to have to keep Badalona under 80, which means you've got 33 points maximum to play with. They need a couple of 16-point quarter defensive outputs.
Robert Height there, the number 5 for Galatasaray. He's their top scorer so far with 10 points. So almost ready for the start of the second half in this first semi-final. And remember, you can see the second semi-final between Dinamo Moscow and Girona. Russian-Spanish clash later on tonight here live on Eurosport 2 with Daniel and Mickey. Here's Chris Owens, the number 9 for Galatasaray. What is needed from him in the second half if Galatasaray are to spring something of a shock here? Mallet on defense against Erden.
And interest though, Erden starts, and he didn't play very many minutes, only 6.5 minutes in the first half. I think he's going to play a lot of minutes in the second half. He's a bit like your favorite player in Israel, Maya Tapiro. He does the right things, he doesn't do anything glam. And Robert Height doing exactly what we were asking him to do in the second quarter, make some threes. And big shot.
Robert Height becomes the game's leading scorer with 13 points. He's just nailed that 3, and it's back to just a 7-point game now. But remember, Galatasaray did have a good start to the first half as well. Rivas, number 4 for Badalona. There's Rudy Fernandez almost losing the ball. And there's a shot clock violation.
Great defensive presence there. The fumbled ball, turnover, and Damon Malley having to shoot the bad 3. That wasn't his fault though. That's because the shot, that was out of necessity. And you know exactly what Galatasaray want to start this quarter. They need to, if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to walk the ball up and down the court. They're only down by 7 now, and they're going to have to slow it right down and chip away. If they win, it's going to be a buzzer beater at the end of the quarter.
Britton Johnson hits his second 3. It's back now to just a 4-point game. Well, a 6-0 start for Galatasaray, and that's exactly what happened in the first half. Oh, what a lovely pass there from Rudy Fernandez, but Jerome Moiseau is fouled, and he's fouled by Britton Johnson, who seems to have hurt his ankle somewhat.
Yeah, he twisted his ankle there. That's a good foul, but Moiseau, you know, this may be a nitpicking here, but he tried to put a little bit extra mustard, a little hot sauce on that dunk. He caught the ball, he could have just laid that in or just pushed it straight down. He cocks it back, trying to make a little bit extra of it, and that's where Johnson got the chance to bring the hammer down.
Little subtlety there from Britton Johnson. Just walked past Moiseau and said, don't try and do that again. Try and dunk it, that is.
Johnson is a lot stronger than his skinny frame belies. I played against him when he was in college at University of Utah. I can testify to that. I wouldn't say he was strong, don't get carried away, but he's by no means a string bean.
Well, that's almost good pressure there from Badalona.
A terrible inbounds pass as well. And I'll tell you, Galatasaray got recognised. Badalona presses up on made free throws. So they need to just execute a simple two-man screen. Somebody's got to cut to the ball and get open. You know, because you've got guys like Ricky Rubio. He's one of the leading stealers of the basketball in Europe, not just in this competition. You know, Rivas is going to pressure the ball. Fernandez, he's going to shoot the passing lanes. Get open properly.
Interesting move to put Munette Air down at the point for Galatasaray. He's not an out-and-out point guard. Johnson inside again. Well, how on earth did that pass get there? It was deflected. 9 on the shot clock.
Aden's in the game because I would imagine D. Brown was a little bit salty at halftime. He's had 3 bad calls go, 3 calls not go his way. You know, he'll be the Arsene
You're right,
Wenger.
first time, Martin. Bad calls.
He's like the Arsene Wenger of basketball today. He's not happy about the love he's getting from the... Oh,
lovely. That's the way to go. Britton Johnson. It's back now to a 3-point game, the closest Galatasaray have been in an age.
And that's why Aden's in the game. You know, he's one of these guys. His numbers don't mean anything because his percentages, he shoots bad shots. He shoots shots when shot clock's running down, and he gets his teammates involved.
That was a 2 from Damon Mallet. Foot just on the line, so the margin goes back to 5.
And even though they've cut into that lead by 5 points, but Roy, look at the tempo. Slow, methodical, just what Galatasaray needs. But Owens, you've got to move the ball. You're not going to get anything going. You've got to get the ball moving. That's better. Now you can go.
For the foul, and he got it.
That's better. The first half looked like that play was going to break down, but again, then smart point guard, looked like he was going to swing and said, no, I'll go back to you. And that's when Owens explodes. There's a good pass, and here's the hold on there. Barton can't stay with Owens in the low post.
Galatasaray have responded well, very well, to the instructions from Murat Oyzer, their coach. He's asked them to be patient. There's still, well, 18 minutes plus to go, and they're still well and truly in this game, but not if they throw the ball away. Lucky there not to get a turnover.
You know, I've said all your season about Badalona, Roy, that I don't understand why they're such a good team. They play well together, but on paper, they don't have a cast of superstars. They don't have guys with this kind of explosive ability like Robert Hyde just came up there. Back-to-back threes. Great start to this third quarter.
Robert Hyde brings Galatasaray to within 2. Oh, Moiseau, the left-handed dunk off the rebound, just looks at his hand and says, well, that was easy.
Got to block out the big man. He's a real beast around the basket. Left-handed as well, which makes him awkward to guard. You know, and you don't have to, should never be involved in that. Should just be a body on him, get him out of the action.
Hussein for Owens. Owens is not really a 3-point shooter, but Hussein gets the rebound. He's got a new shot clock, and turnover from Hussein.
Rubio coming in, gets his hands in there, and that's an okay foul. And
well, Britton Johnson fouled Rudy Fernandez well and truly there, threw him to the floor, and Rudy picks himself up, shakes himself down, looks at his knees, still a bit of skin on there, Rudy.
And the problem for any team that has a big comeback like Galatasaray have done, they were down 12, don't forget, in the second quarter. They've cut this back into 4 points. It's so difficult to just stay with what got you there. You get excited. Chris Owens shooting a 3. He's not a 3-point shooter. You say he doesn't shoot very well. He's not a 3-point shooter.
Damon Mallet, he is a 3-point shooter, but on this occasion he misses. Moiseau gets the rebound, but it drops into the hands of Robert Hyde. Here go Galatasaray on the break. Well, that's a poor offense there. Not what Galatasaray needed, but Hussein, he's fouled. Yeah.
Great drive, great recognition by Moiseau berating the referee. You talk to the wrong one, it's the other one who calls it.
Basok's really trying to get the crowd involved here as well. There's the foul on Moiso, and let's look at Basok's reaction to the Turkish fans in the crowd.
Well, Basok, he recognised that Moiso was chasing him down, chasing down the loose ball, and, well, as explosive as a big man that size can be, he just ran at the basket, and sure enough, Moiso picks up the technical foul, and that's, well, he gets to shoot those again, surely.
Now, I don't understand what's happened here, because the referee did not signal unsportsmanlike. There was no lineup.
I think the players just hadn't lined up when he gave him the ball. Basok wants to get on with it.
They were walking through his field of vision, and you're right, Martin, had he missed that first shot, he should have had it again, but as it happens, he hit them both, so Galatasaray back to within 2.
Now, the question is, can Badalona get back up to the normal play, standard play they did in the first half? This happened to them in the quarter-final as well.
Oh, no. Well, it's been called a foul on Chris Owens, and I'll tell you what, Ricky Rubio almost lost control of that there, put his head down, and got the foul called in his favour.
I wonder why that was.
Well, Martin, you at the end of the first half, you said to me this has been the best game of the tournament so far, and that's the way it's still going. It's a bit of a classic here, close game, and Rudy Fernandez on the turnaround, and Moiso the rebound, and gets it blocked away, and a new shot clock. Oh, it's
got to rebound, got to get that board back.
Ricky Rubio the rebound, Mallet again.
Still going to pull the trigger. No, run the clock down, Rubio's. Somebody take control.
Fernandez goes inside and misses, and Moiso got just a...
Barton got that, I think, and Roy, that's, you know, you give them 3 bites of the cherry, they're going to score. Look at that, another one of these. Mickey Bett said that was a charge too.
Yeah, what does Mickey Bett know about refereeing? A glare from our colour commentator in the stands. Here's Basok from outside the arc. He's not a three-point shooter, but Johnson is a rebounder, and that came off a Badalona hand, I'm sure.
Well, the referee's caught a foul on Ricky Rubio in the background. Now we got one of these interests. This game's getting a bit in that. Passions are riding high, which is great.
Yeah,
now the referees, there is a foul there, fair enough. Now the referees have got to get control of the game. And how do they normally get control of the game, Roy? They make a couple of quick whistles. So watch out now for somebody, a couple of players to get a couple of dodgy calls they won't be happy with.
This reminds me of a game involving Los Angeles Lakers and Boston Celtics. Kurt Rambis was it, and Boston were accused of taking the game down to the gutter, whatever that meant, making it physical, in other words. And it seems to me that Galatasaray have come out with a lot more fighting spirit than Badalona in this game. They're prepared to lose a lot of skin off their knees and elbows, and going after every loose ball. They desperately want this game. Poor dribbling there from Basok, lost the ball. Bad turnover for Galatasaray. No offensive foul. The Turks want it called. Here's Rubio in the corner, and Mallet buries the 3. Well, whatever pressure Galatasaray can exert in this game, Joventut Badalona seem to have the answer to it. It's back to a 7-point lead for Badalona.
Well, referee called offensive foul first half, second half it's not an offensive foul. This game is back and forth the whole way.
Robert Height has come out all guns blazing in this second half. You can see the intensity on his face. He wants this so badly.
Roy, I'll tell you what, in that quarter-final against Valencia, Badalona had another run like this where they were up by 15 points or something like that, and all of a sudden 4 threes in a row went in for Valencia. They made a game of it. Galatasaray is a different proposition. They are now back in this game all the way. I said that to improve their numbers. They have across the board, offensively, defensively. They've improved their numbers as well. They're not turning the ball over as much. This game is going to be icky-picky now. You got both teams getting up in each other's face. It suits Galatasaray. So now the tempo's got to go back Badalona's way. Who's going to be the beast? This is what they lost when they let Charles Gaines go away. Who's the player on this team you look at now and says he's the the heart and soul of this team? Not sure which one it's going to be.
So Robert Height, Gaines' leading scorer on 16 points. Fernandez is on 11, and indeed Damon Mallet for Joventut, he's on 11 as well. Nearly a backcourt there from Charles Gaines. Get it over the line. You've only got 8 seconds, don't forget. Gaines inside. Gaines has not had too much of an impact on this game. There he is inside, and he came off the metalwork at the back of the board.
No, Dan, I said he takes bad shots. That was a bad shot. Wasn't necessary. They've been trapped all the way up the one side of the court. Now once you've got it over, what they need to swing the ball to the other side of the floor where you'll have an open shot.
Interesting matchup there. Johnson is marking Ricky Rubio, and it was just the height that Johnson has that, oh my word, what a steal from Rudy Fernandez. He read that pass, well, about a week ago.
He's so quick and he's so long. He doesn't look like he's going to be a good player. He's got no muscle definition. You know, he's a good leaper, but look at that. I mean, just beautiful
so
basketball.
easy.
And an easy call for the referee to make as well. Outstanding play. This is why he's going to be one of the leading contenders for MVP of the ULEB Cup this season.
Well, we had one Spanish player of the same ilk go to the NBA last year. That was Juan Carlos Navarro, and many people think that Fernandez is NBA bound as well.
He's already been drafted, hasn't he? Phoenix Suns have got his rights, and as electrifying as he is in transition basketball play, imagine when he goes to Phoenix Suns, plays a guy like Steve Nash giving him the ball and set him up in the fast court, in the half court, fast break situations.
And Rudy Fernandez completes the three-point play, and it's back to where we were at half-time with Joventut Badalona leading by 10. Well, the 5-second call, yeah, that's good pressure from Badalona. Superb defense, and no Galatasaray player made himself available.
And look at that, Roy. You got 5 green shirts under the three-point line. Surely somebody's hoping at half court. Somebody's got to flash the ball, and that's why Britton Johnson has to go sit down. If you haven't got the confidence making that pass, then you shouldn't be taking the ball out of bounds.
That's right. I don't think he should have been inbounding it. He should have been receiving it, flashing in as a lighthouse. Oh, Moiso inside. It's now a 12-point lead. Now, really, Murat Oyzer desperately needs a timeout. I just hope that the Galatasaray Storm hasn't blown its course, because they are well capable of making this a close game, but it's a dangerous time indeed with D. Brown under all kinds of pressure. Here's Robert Height, defended by Fernandez. Height into the corner for Udan, and Udan misses it, and the rebound by the monster that is Moiso.
Oh, amazing, isn't it? Not long ago, we were talking about 50-48, 2-point game. That's one of those intentional fouls that Mark Clark hates so much.
Not only Mark Clark, I detest him as well. I tell you,
he did that just to stop the fast break. But it was 54, and they were back in the game, in the ascendancy, and all of a sudden, Badalona, you know, the tempo's changed. It's a lot more high-paced, and all of a sudden, 10-0 run, bang, 62-50.
And that was a good foul from Ferran Lavina. Stopped the fast break, but what a lovely almost alley-oop there, and Robert Hyde takes his total to 18 points.
And he's the hot hand, so you've got to keep feeding him, get the ball in his hands, but they've got to get back to basics on the defensive end, which is what they've got away from here.
Fernandez way outside the arc. This is by a long way, and Chris Owens the rebound into D. Brown's hands now. Where's Height? They've got to get the ball into Height's hands.
He's got to stop hiding under the basket.
Oh, bad turnover.
That's D. Brown. They're forcing the play a bit too much. Again, this isn't how they got back in the game. They moved the ball, they played together, they played 5-man basketball, not 2-man basketball.
Height's injured. Now that is going to hurt Galatasaray. He's turned his ankle. Oh, bad news for Galatasaray. Well, I hope it just looks like cramp, but he really did hobble off there. He landed awkwardly under the hoop. Foot violation by Akyol, and a new shot clock for Badalona. Just how long can Galatasaray work on Robert Height's ankle, or if it's cramped, then they've got a minute or so to work on him.
Well, they've got thinking micro payments now if you're Galatasaray. You're down by 10, 2 minutes left in the third quarter. What you got to do, I was about to say, don't let the lead extend out any further.
Ferran Lavina picks up the rubbish.
And Moiso has just been a beast in this third quarter. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, he's just been the strongest man on the floor.
Beast is a term of endearment in basketball terms, Martin. You know, you used to be one of them.
I love you, Roy. But I tell you, Moiso he's been intimidatory on defense, but more importantly, offensive boards. He's just everywhere. Just big, strong, banging people out the way. And all of a sudden, first time in the game for Murat Kaya. who very rarely gets playing time in this in this format, and 24-year-old forward. Big pressure on him.
Well, Galatasaray have really got to dig deep now. They've got to do it on defense. Without Robert Height on the floor, they've got to play defense and try and restrict Badalona to a few points at the end of this third period.
They've got to get a couple of bucks themselves. They want to get this under 10. 9.9 won't matter, but that's just a psychological barrier to try and get it under 10.
D. Brown, that has to go in, and it bobbles in and out, and that came off the hands of a Badalona player. Good hustling there from Charles Gaines.
Where has Charles Gaines been in this game? We haven't seen much of him since the beginning of the quarter. 13 points, 7.5 rebounds a game. He normally comes up with, what have we had so far? 4 points and 1 solitary board.
Yeah, had a much better season with Biliband and Joventut than he's had here in Turkey, or rather in Istanbul. But well, it's still a long time to go. Nearly 12 minutes to go in the game. Oh, Ricky Rubio just steps in there and fouls.
The D. Brown won't have seen anything like this before. You know, it's very difficult to express this. If you're a guy like D. Brown, you're one of the top-ranked backcourts in college basketball when you were at Illinois a couple of years ago with Deron Williams. Okay, everybody expected you to win a national championship. You didn't, but everybody, you were the favorite. Then you come to play in the NBA for a couple of years. Then you end up coming in Europe. And all of a sudden you roll out tonight against a 17-year-old kid who looks like he weighs about a €1.20 when he's wet. And this kid is just harassing you all over the court. Just doesn't compute. It's so difficult to get fired up to play against this kid.
Who is this whip snapper that's in my socks with me? There he is, and D. Brown fouls him as well.
And Brown, he can't get any look at. And the thing is, you look at his stats as well. How many points he averaged? 8. How many rebounds? 3. 5 assists. Okay, so he passes the ball. So what? I can take this chump. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as that, because Rubio is going to be one of the best guards ever from European basketball if he stays, if his improvement continues the way he's had in the last year and a half.
Well, I understand he's been drafted onto the Spanish Olympic team.
Well, they'll take him. He'll be the Theo Walcott of Spanish basketball this summer. He'll be there, but you know, 2012 when he comes to London, folks, better watch out.
I'll tell you what, Juventus have done a great job in making sure he doesn't sort of step out of his case at all. You know, he's kept his head. His head is right, and he's kept his feet on the ground, but not literally in basketball terms. There he is nearly making another steal. Juventus have done a great job in monitoring his progress. That's the number 9 for Badalona, who is now advancing the ball up the floor. D. Brown claps or applauds his own score there. It's still a 10-point game.
He wants his team to get there. You know, they're down to 10, minute left.
How on earth did Rubio keep possession then? And found the open man. Oh my goodness me, what a pass, and what a rebound from Chris Owens. There's D. Brown. Don't dribble the ball behind your back there in the double team.
Oof.
Oh, they escaped it. That's better play there from Galatasaray. Avoided the turnover. D. Brown goes inside and finds the man in the corner, who is fouled.
Yeah, good play there by Henk Akyol. Lubos Barton came across expecting to go for the jumper, went for the pump fake, and there's the foul. Stuck a hand back in there. And Akyol knew he wasn't going to score. He just had to draw the foul, stop the clock, give yourself a chance to score some points.
In the last minute of the third period. And Galatasaray on the line. The deficit back to single figures. That's manageable. It could have been so much worse for Galatasaray. They're still just in this semi-final. It's now just an 8-point game.
I said these Turkish players got to step up now, try and make things happen. Defensive now. If they can stop Badalona from scoring the rest of the way, and that's a big ask, you know, then we're in for an interesting fourth quarter.
Oh, bad pass there from Ricky Rubio. Attempted the bullet-like pass again and just has a little word with the official. Don't you think I was bumped, official? And the answer in the negative. So, Galatasaray with an opportunity to make it very, very respectable indeed. They trail by 8.
Can they finally win a quarter, Roy? That's the thing. They lost the first quarter by 10. They worked their socks off and got tied in the second quarter. Now they're up by 2 in this third quarter. They even win this. That's a huge psychological boost, especially if they go in under 10.
That's going to go in. Yeah, it's a good tap. It's back to a 6-point game with 12 seconds remaining in the third period.
Gaines finally making an impact on the game. Got to get a stop here.
Ricky Rubio inside, looking for the left-handed shot, and misses it, and and there's a foul.
Wow.
Who's the foul on? Oh my goodness me, it's against Galatasaray, it's against Kaya.
Wow.
1.8 seconds remaining in the third period, and coach Ayoto Garcia Reneses calls the troops in and says, we're going to rebound this.
I mean, Roy, you know what? I'm going to lace up and start playing. If I knew that big men were getting this kind of calls, I would never have retired. Look at this, a little skinny mini pushing a big man on offensive rebound, and he gets 2 shots for it.
Eduardo Hernandez Sonseca.
Wow, the referee's got, and he's so composed, the referee. He's got time to tell somebody to tuck his shirt into his shorts. Well, they say sometimes justice is done on the foul line.
1.8 seconds in the third, that's all that's remaining, and Galatasaray 60, Joventut Badalona 66. Make that still 66. Oh my goodness me, on the buzzer. Wow.
I go to sleep. Lavina flicks that over his head. Wow.
Well, if you take into consideration, Rudy Fernandez hit a 3 on the buzzer of half-time as well, and there Ferran Lavina taps it in with less than a second to go. That's 5 points. It could have been so much closer, but it's still only an 8-point game.
But he threw it over his head, Roy. Wow, amazing. Go on, you take it, coach.
It's the ULEB Cup semi-final here in the Palavela in Turin, and Badalona lead Galatasaray 68-60. Ferran Lavina just tapped it in with less than a second to go in that third period to extend the lead to 8. Remember, Rudy Fernandez hit a 3 on the buzzer of half-time, so it could really have been 63-60. But you have to hand it to Juventus. They play the time situation brilliantly. Robert Height, he went off towards the end of that third period. We don't know quite what his injury situation is. That's the top scorer in the game so far. Robert Height, number 5 for Galatasaray.
He's still not back in the game.
He's not there yet, no.
So it may have been a twisted ankle. Is he even on the bench? That's the thing you worry about, because if he's in the back getting treated.
The 3 really does rub it in. There's Robert Height. He's just hobbling a little bit, but Jagler nails the 3, and it's back to 11 again. Whatever Galatasaray do, then Badalona seem to have the answer.
Oh, great pass. Got to finish that, CJ.
Charles Gaines inside, finds the teammate, and Height can't quite get the rebound, and here goes Fernandez. Jagler just nailed 1-3, finds Fernandez.
No, I've been hard on Jagler, saying he shoots too many bad shots, but he's 5 for 9 tonight. He makes the 3. He's the guy who had that sensational tip in at the end of the third quarter.
Shot clock on 4. Lavina pulls up. That's Barton, rather, and the rebound by Charles Gaines. D. Brown looking inside. Owens the pick. Robert Height in the corner.
Great D. Great defense.
Shot clock on 9. D. Brown goes inside, pulls up, and looks for the foul, and gets nothing. Now, whose hands did that touch last? Apparently, it was a Galatasaray player.
Blaming Charlie Gaines for that. That was outstanding defensive series, Roy. Nobody went for a pump fake. Everybody stayed on the floor, slid their feet, got big, got their hands up. Aito's sitting there saying, that's the way I drew it up.
Martin, going back to one of the comments from, or one or two of the comments from the Guildford Kings supporters that I read on their website, saying that when they played Joventut Badalona, Badalona are in a different class. And at the moment, whatever Galatasaray throw at them, Badalona seem to have the answer.
They certainly do. And I was fortunate to witness Badalona play in a home EuroLeague situation a couple of times last season. And you could see they had the makings of a great team, and it's the personification of the coach. And Aito's been around a long time and knows what he's doing. And you look at the makeup of his team, picking up guys like Lubos Barton, you say, why would you take a guy like him? And there he is stealing offensive rebound. You know, Robert Height, Damon Mallet as a guard who's just come through the ranks through German basketball. You take him as your second American instead of the like of Robert Height from the NBA.
Oh, Rudy Fernandez.
That's why, because they play as a team. There's no egos on this team.
Rudy Fernandez, such a casual three-point shooter, hits his 17th point. D. Brown inside, nice finger layup, and here go Badalona again on the break. It's still a 12-point game.
That's a lazy foul there. Lazy foul by Murat Kaya.
Well, we had a winner from Spain in this competition last year, Real Madrid, and in all actuality, Real Madrid, they always look like a EuroLeague team, and you can say exactly the same about Juventus Badalona. They've not won this competition yet. They still have either Dinamo Moscow or Girona to play, and I'm not making the assumption here that they're going to beat Galatasaray because there's still 7:48 to go, but Juventus Badalona definitely are better than a ULEB Cup team.
Maybe the case, Roy. The thing that goes against Galatasaray at the moment is how many times can they dig in and get this cut back into this lead. They cut it back to 2. If they could have got in front, you know, you keep saying here they come again, but there's only so many times they can keep coming back.
Chris Owens battling his way in there, gets fouled.
And credit to them, they're not laying down and dying. They're not giving up and saying, okay, you're bigger and better than us and we can't do anything about it. They're still in there working their socks off. Chris Owens picking up the foul, out hustling the much bigger Hernandez Fonseca.
Well, Chris Owens giving up 4 or 5 inches there and probably about 30 pounds as well. But athletic enough to fight his way to the boards. D. Brown is, well, his body language is not good at the moment, but Chris Owens nails the first, and it's still an 11-point game with an age to go, despite the scratching of the heads of the coaching team. Galatasaray. Chris Owens nails the second one as well. It's still a possibility that Galatasaray could overcome this 10-point deficit.
That's a manageable deficit because Badalona will continue to run. So you are going to get the offensive opportunities, but you've got to get the stops. And that's going to be called a block.
Yeah, a man just stepped underneath, and that man being Chris Owens.
And D. Brown, his frustration is born from one fact. He averages 16 points a game. He's got 8. That will be affecting him. He knows he's got to come up big offensively for his team.
Well, the only good thing about that situation then was that Rudy Fernandez was hit hard enough to make him miss the shot, so he's got to work for his points from the line, but he is a very, very good free throw shooter.
Well, I'm not going to say anything because I was talking about how great he was, 94% the other night. What did he do? Missed his first 2.
Murat Kaya has played a role here. He's given Basok a little bit of a breather on the bench, but this is possibly the last throw of the dice. The old expression of Coach Murat Oyzer. He's introduced Basok again, the big number 12 there, and a lot is expected of him. It's back to a 12-point lead for Badalona.
Got to get the ball off the floor, got to pass it up the court, and just the defense is so aggressive.
2 turnovers then, 1 from each team. Here goes Chris Owens, nice layup, nice pass. Britton Johnson finishes off, it's back to 10.
And that's the kind of basketball that works on when they're aggressive against the press. They've been played so soft so far.
Well, we've been saying that Badalona have the answer to everything that Galatasaray throw at them, but Galatasaray will not lie down. Damon Mallet misses the 3, but gets his own rebound, and that's inside the arc. Misses that again, and Basok gets the rebound.
Mallet needs to stop shooting those. Not because they're... Not that he can't shoot. He shoots the ball exceptionally well, but nobody else has touched the ball offensively. You've got to get the ball in the hands of your teammates. Great try by Owens.
Surely that's a foul. Surely that's a foul on Jagler, but nothing called. Well, Chris Owens was being mugged on his way to the basket there, and the referee declined to call anything. Jagler into Damon Mallet in the corner.
That's a better shot. Even if he misses it, that's not a bad shot.
And here go Galatasaray on the break, almost bounced it back court.
Make something happen quick, Robert. It's not the NBA. You haven't got time to clear out and go one-on-one.
6 to go in the 4th, and Badalona lead by 10. And Coach Murat said he wanted to limit Badalona to 80 points. He thought he had a chance of doing that. Well, he's only got 4 points to go in that, and that off the glass. Well, my word, Erdan, how did that go in? He didn't shoot the ball, he threw it.
And he also looks at the referee as saying, come on, ref, give me a foul. How many free throws, or how few free throws have Galatasaray shot in this second half, and they've been going aggressively to the basket.
Mallet for Badalona.
Trying to show a bit more zone again.
Fernandez, that casual shot again, and Owens the rebound. Too casual there from Rudy Fernandez, and Fernandez almost did the splits then on defense.
No.
Owens, no!
Yes.
Say no, and he hits it! Good man! It's only a 7-point game now. Timeout, Badalona. Ayato Garcia Reneses wants to stop the rot.
I'll tell you, when you get a guy, a big man, steps out, shooting 3 like that, we say no. That's one of those things we say, if he misses this, right, cut him. Call his agent. He's going home. He made it. Great, fantastic timeout. Come on, guys, let's go.
Well, watching the replay of the Chris Owens 3 there, both your commentators looked at each other, then they said, no, don't shoot, Chris, and he went swish, all net.
He said, look, I'm 19% from the three-point line. Of course I'm going to make one. 3 for 16.
As high as that?
Well, he's missed one already tonight, so that makes him on the season in this competition. 4 for 18.
There's more belief now in the Galatasaray timeout than there has been for a long time.
Well, Royce is manageable. I mean, you know, you're down by 5 minutes left, down by 7 rather, with 5 minutes left. This game is going in your direction.
35% from outside the arc, including that last one from a very unlikely source of Chris Owens.
Well, it's Dan who's killing them on the three-point line. He's 0 for 3.
And Lavina gets the troops together. An experienced hand there, number 18 for Joventut Badalona. Robert Height, the bearded number 5, against the yet-to-start shaving Ricky Rubio of Badalona. Badalona, it's their possession. Here's Rubio. Defended by Erden. 5 to go in regulation. We've not had overtime yet in the last 18 Turin. Not to say that we're going to. Oh, the alley-oop, the pass from Rubio to Fernandez. What understanding between the two youngsters there. Wonderful play from Badalona, and that makes the margin back to 9.
And there's nothing you can say about that. I mean, that's just players drawn up. We knew the zone was going to be coming out of timeout. They're ready for the defense. Chris Owens, because he's got the hot hand now. You know, contrast that. Perfectly executed play at one end, come down the other end, you just make one pass, the guy shoots a jump shot.
Yeah, Owens has hit 1-3, but then that really, he's not an outside shooter. He's not even a medium-range shooter. His strength is on the boards. That's where he should go to.
Right, they were down 5, you know, just... And again, keep asking yourself, Rubio. Every time they make a run, Badalona come back, and if it's not Rubio, it's Fernandez. If it's neither one of them, it's Lavina. Everybody has stepped up big. Like everyone's positive.
Look at the contrast in the body language. About 2 minutes ago, the body language of the Galatasaray players was really positive. Okay, Ricky Rubio's just thrown an alley-oop pass to Fernandez, and then he's laid the ball up left-handed, and then the Galatasaray players go back into their timeout and they're disgusted with themselves. So negative now. Now they trail by 11, having got to within 5.
Now, Roy, the thing is, they've come back, what, 4 times, and every time they've come back, something like this has happened. You know, Rubio to Fernandez, and then next play, Fernandez to Rubio. It's just, as you said, they are a class above everybody else in ULEB Cup. They haven't won this game yet, but you can see why they're the highest-rated team in the ULEB competition.
Great example there of why we teach young kids to lay the ball up right-handed and left-handed. Ricky Rubio is at ease with either hand. What a tremendous player he is now, but just imagine the prospect, the potential there is unbelievable. Well, the man has the world at his feet, the young man that is, the 17-year-old Ricky Rubio. And here's Robert Height. What has he got to answer? Now his team trail by 9. Scoreboard's just ticked over, so it's a 9-point deficit that Galatasaray face.
It's been a big loss for Galatasaray, because since Robert Height got hurt, not much good has happened for them.
Britton Johnson is fouled by Ricky Rubio, just reaching in. That's his 4th.
Number 9, Ricky, 4 fouls.
Here we go, just reaches in, just slap the arm there.
Right, he was holding him. He's a clever stealer of the basketball. He tries to get, he makes sure he gets his feet round, he gets his body in the right place so he can go with the inside hand to try and go for the steal. Most young players you'll see trying to reach around with the outside hand, and that's with body on body. It's an easy call for the referee.
And Fernandez there just overreaching the plane of the out of bounds and doing it again. That's a 5-second call. That's the second 5-second call.
Right, ref, I don't know, that was the quickest 5 seconds.
The quickest 5 second. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You know, I don't know whether the referee actually added up the 2 possession situations, 3 seconds and 2 seconds, but that was a very, very quick 5. As you say, Rudy Fernandez misses the 3, Moiso the rebound, and they have a new shot clock, and they will use it. Well, come on, the guards have got to put pressure on the Badalona guards. The Galatasaray guards, that is. His Fernandez again, eating up the clock, 3.5 to go. And the rebound by Chris Owens. He wanted that one badly.
Go get the ball moving there, Dan. And again, Owens got to move the ball, not one-on-one. Don't do it off the dribble.
What is Chris Owens doing? Well, the only thing I can think he was doing was looking for the foul, but he was totally out of control.
He's got to make the extra pass. He's trying to do good things for his team, but he's doing dumb things for his team.
Well, as the saying goes, he had more control over the weather than he had over that basketball then. More pressure, though, from Galatasaray. They're not out of it, but the clock is against them. Badalona possession, and D. Brown back in for Galatasaray. 3:19 to go. It's a 9-point lead for the team in green, Badalona. Ricky Rubio is fouled with a little chop on the head. And Britton Johnson says, come on, ref, he can look after himself. He's a grown man now. Oh, that's right in front of the ref. Sorry, ref, says Britton Johnson.
A bit of body banging there. You know, we keep talking about so many different points again that haven't worked out. The end of the first quarter, end of the third quarter, 5-point baskets. No D. Brown performing. A couple of bad calls going against them.
And a three from Rudy Fernandez. That's 24 points to him.
And you know, Roy, I keep saying he didn't do an awful lot offensively in the quarterfinal, but he's certainly come up big today.
Into Besok in the corner, defended by Moiso. That's got to go in. Britton Johnson misses by a long way, and Moiso the rebound. Well, Moiso boxed his man out and then went for the rebound, and it's a nice, well, it's a foul. I was about to say it's a nice easy 2 for Badalona. 2.5 to go. I suspect that may be it now, because Britton Johnson, it's good night, Britton. By fouls, Britton Johnson.
Wow. All ball. But that foul call be surely because he slapped down, but you know, Galatasaray have done the best they could, and you know, 2.5 minutes left. I'm not saying that the game's completely dead, but every time they've come back at them, Badalona just upped their game in some way, and you find it difficult to see past this team, as we have done all season.
Well, Rudy Fernandez, 24 points to number 5 for Badalona. But to me, the most impressive thing about this Badalona team is the way that Ricky Rubio, in his tender years of 17, actually has control over everything. He's running the show for them from the point. He's telling them, he's instructing them where to go, what offenses they're going to run. Such maturity for a man of such young age. Chris Owens finds Robert Height in the corner, who pulls up for the 2 and gets an and 1 as well.
Great play by Robert Height. They haven't had enough of that in the fourth quarter as he moves on to 20. You're right about Rubio, Roy, because the stat line won't show up that he's done an awful lot. 4 points, okay, 5 assists, couple of rebounds, only 1 steal, 3 turnovers, but he has orchestrated virtually since he entered the game halfway through the first quarter. He's orchestrated the whole performance of the team in green.
Robert Height goes to 21 points. There's a foul, and that's the 5th foul that Ricky Rubio has drawn, if that's the right expression. Chris Owens, it's his foul, and you can look at the faces of the Galatasaray players now. Do they still believe? I don't think they do, you know.
No, they don't believe, and they've tried to believe so hard, Roy, but you know, now I think reality's kicking in.
Yeah, you're right. They have given their all. They have really sacrificed their bodies. They've worked hard mentally, physically. They obeyed the coach's instructions, but in the end, they've just not been quite good enough, because they've faced a very, very good, very well coached Badalona team.
Yeah, now all the rumours last season was whether or not Coach Aita was going to leave Badalona, go for a bigger job. But he's committed himself. He wants to build Badalona back to its former greatness. I think those who've been around long enough remember them winning the, well, it wasn't the Euro, it was the European Club Championship back in the early days. But they won the EuroLeague back then, and he wants to get that title back.
Jordi Villacampa, he's now the president of the club, back in the, I think it was 1993, when they won the old EuroLeague.
Mike Smith, Corny Thompson. Wow.
And they lost that final to Partizan Belgrade in Turkey. They were really hurt because Alexander Djordjevic there hit Three on the buzzer virtually to win the game, and Badalona have really, well, they've stamped their name in greatness in Spanish basketball and European basketball as well. Here they are leading by 10 with 90 seconds to go. Rudy Fernandez is fouled, and he's strong enough to get an and one as well. What a play!
Roy, we took a trip down memory lane, and let's forget that. Let's talk about today. Rudy Fernandez, 26 big points, and he's just been truly dominant. As Robert Hite picks up another foul, and he must say, wow, these guys are as good as it says on the box.
Rudy Fernandez there, it's his 27th point, and a little congratulatory tap there from Robert Hite. True gentleman that he is, true sportsman that he is, he recognises that that's a great player. D. Brown, nice cut there, and it's still an 11-point deficit with 82 seconds remaining in the fourth. Here's Rudy Fernandez, 90 plays 79.
Scary thing, Roy, is Rubio 17, Fernandez 23. They've both got 10, 12 years minimum ahead of them. What is the Spanish national team going to be when we get to the London Olympics or the World Championships in Turkey in a couple of years' time?
Nice pass from D. Brown into Robert Hite, and Robert Hite's turned his ankle again. He really is carrying that injury, I'm afraid. He really has given his all, but, well, he's 26 points, maybe his last. He's in agony, the poor guy.
Just what we all love to see.
Well, Robert Hite landed awkwardly, but the damage had been done earlier in the game. He turned that ankle about 5 or 6 minutes ago, and he really is in excruciating pain. No way he's going to take any further part in this game. Just picked up his 26th point. Got a stats rating of 22, which in a semi-final, that's a very, very commendable performance indeed.
Oh, he's done his job, Roy. Look at him. He's 7 for 8 from the two-point line. 3 for 5, 60% on the three. Perfect from the foul line, 100%. Okay, he's had 5 turnovers that has hurt his team, but look at that stat line. He's done what they asked him to do and more, 25. He hasn't had the support he's expected. D. Brown, where's your 16 points been?
Well, there's a steal. Well, we're well into the last minute of this game, and it's only 9 points. It's only 7 points. It's still possible, you know, a couple of threes, a couple of turnovers. Yes, they got it, yeah. Don't give it away. That's got to go in, that's got to go in. Which it doesn't. And Joventut Badalona get the rebound.
And now they got the foul, and it gets kind of ugly. And that, you know, then he's a so-so shooter, but he will get criticised for taking that shot. But you're right, he had to make that shot, but somebody else has got to come to the ball and get them to offer themselves. D. Brown, that's the man that's been missing in action for Galatasaray today. But it's not, you know, it's no reflection on him personally, because many a better, bigger, more talented player than he has been missed in action against the talents of Mr. Rubio.
Well, we've been assuming that Badalona were going to win this, but I'll tell you what, had that 3 gone in, it would have been a 4-point game with still 30 seconds to go, so you never know. Now, however, it's back to a 7-point game. Again, Galatasaray need a quick score, and Ricky Rubio, another steal to his name, and well, almost an assist there. And now Badalona will run the clock down. They do not need to take a shot now. So Badalona going through to the final, where they will play the winners of our next live game here on Eurosport 2, which will be Dinamo Moscow against Girona. So we have one Spanish team in the final. Terrific performance from Badalona. Gallant performance from Galatasaray, but it is the Spanish Giants who go through to the ULEB Cup final of 2008. Ricky Rubio
celebrating in the same way when he did the World Championships, throwing the ball to the rafters, Roy. Great professional performance by Badalona, and worthy of going to the finals.
Well, the top scorer in the game, Rudy Fernandez, 27 points to his name. He hit Badalona's first 8 points and went on to become the game's leading scorer. So Badalona have beaten Galatasaray by 7 in the first semi-final of the ULEB Cup. If we get a chance, we'll try and grab hold of Rudy Fernandez and ask him for his impression of the game and what he expects in the final. And our interviewer, Alan, he's grabbed hold of Rudy Fernandez as Robert Hite hops off. I don't think he'll make the 3rd and 4th playoff. What a shame for Robert Height. Had a terrific game, 26 points, but I can't see him making the consolation final.
Rudy, felicidades, estáis en la final. Cada vez que parecía que os ibais alejando, volvían y os ponían en problemas.
Sí, yo creo que era un equipo que es muy fuerte físicamente y es eso, ¿no? Que cuando cogíamos una mínima
Well, I feel fine physically. They came back hard at us.
Y era complicado romper el partido, ¿no? Pero bueno, al final yo creo que la parte positiva es que hemos conseguido la victoria.
Well, we did our best to try and stay in double figures ahead of them.
Pues si te soy sincero, la verdad es que no lo sé, ¿no?
And we're very, very pleased indeed to be in the final.
Hemos fallado mucho, ellos también han fallado. Yo creo que ha sido un partido.
There was a strange feeling to the game.
Al final, yo creo que con nuestra defensa ellos han estado menos
It's a kind of roller coaster type of game.
¿Cómo estáis físicamente?
And, well, they made the second half a very tough situation for us. They were very physical. But we stuck together as a team. And luckily, we're used to that in the Spanish league. So we need a rest now before tomorrow's game. Well, we'll see if we can't get hold of... Yeah, here's Hussein Besok of Galatasaray with the lovely Karina.
The second half, and then good chances in the last quarter. Why didn't it work out?
Because you know, they start very well. We know they run the ball, they play running game. We make big mistake first half because we play like them. Second half we try to play our game. We catch them, but they are a very good team. They are strong. They never give us the chance. But we fight. We lost the game. I can say just good luck for tomorrow. We're gonna play for third place.
Well, despite the loss, you had a tremendous season this year. Do you think that this success here will open a new page in the history of Galatasaray?
Of course, this is the biggest success for Galatasaray. We want for tomorrow for third place. We want to take medal. This Copa Galatasaray, not just 2 years, they are the new sponsor, they are attacked for, basketball. I hope on the future it's gonna be much better.
Well, good luck in your fight for the third place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good man, Hussein Besok, getting the mention of his sponsor in there. But Rudy Fernandez, with 27 points, has led Joventut Badalona to a victory in the first semi-final of the ULEB Cup. They have beaten Galatasaray 90-73. There's Robert Height. His 26 points were not quite enough to take Galatasaray into the final, so it will be Joventut Badalona. But don't forget, you can see the other semi-final on Eurosport 2. Will it be Dinamo or will it be Girona to play Badalona?